Now, before I move on to the line tool right here, I'm going to go ahead and jump down to our camera tools here in this section here. So we have 6 different camera tools, and I'm going to go ahead and go through these one by one, and I'll show you how you can do these by using these icons here or by simply using our mouse and keyboard, which, as you will find, using the mouse and keyboard can save you a lot of time from having to go back and select each one of these whenever you want to do a function. So let's go over the orbit tool here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it once, and now you see my mouse has turned into the orbit icon, and wherever I click in my screen, that is where I'm going to orbit around. So let's say if I click over here, it's going to orbit around that space there. So if I click on my component over here, it will orbit around her like that. So I could just click and hold down the button and move my mouse up and down, left and right, and it's just going to orbit all around. Now I can click on pan, and again I click and hold my mouse and go from left to right, up and down, and it will allow me to pan. And here for zoom, we will have to create a window. I'm sorry, actually we won't have to create a window. You just click and hold your mouse, click and slide your mouse up or down, and it will zoom in and out. And actually, I'm sorry, that is the zoom tool. This is the zoom window. So we click on this one and you click and drag your mouse, and it will zoom into wherever you have windowed, as you can see there. And let's try it again. And there it just zoomed into that window. Now this is a useful tool here where this is zoom previous, so this will take us back to the previous view that we were at, and there it took us back again. Now this is also a very useful tool, the zoom extents, because as you work in your models, you will sometimes be zooming in and out, and you may just find yourself, you just started zooming into space and you just look around and you cannot find your model. Don't worry, just go ahead over here to zoom extents, click once, and there you go. It will zoom to the extent of your model. So very useful tools to have. Now I'm going to show you how to do this using your 3-button mouse. So I'm going to go ahead, and for the zoom, all we have to do is use our middle scroll button. So all we have to do is zoom, scroll forward and back, and then that will be zooming forward and back. And to orbit, we will just press down our scroll button, and it brings us into that orbit mode, and then we can just move our mouse around and it will orbit around wherever we selected. Now if we want to pan, I will press the middle scroll button, but this time I'm going to also press the shift key on my computer, and it turns into the pan command, and now I can pan my drawing around. So just those few simple tools are very useful to have. I use them all the time on my mouse. I hardly ever use these, with the exception of sometimes using that zoom extents. I usually just hold down my shift key, move my mouse while I'm pressing the middle scroll button, and use the orbit and zoom. So these will become second nature to you as you work more and more in SketchUp. So that's pretty much our viewing methods in SketchUp. So let's go ahead and move on to our other tool, the line drawing.